Welcome to my Throwback Thursday review of Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. This was my first time watching this film, and it was voted on my subscribers for me to watch all these Indiana Jones movies and review them before Dial of Destiny comes out. I was super excited to get into this because it's a classic film, so I'm not going to talk too much in the intro, and I'm just going to get to the good. Harrison Ford is undeniable as Indiana Jones. Oozing with riz, as the kids say these days, but old people like me say charisma. He has the one-liners. He has the look of a leading man that most leading men these days wish they had an ounce of. He's so great in this film. Really fun to follow as he's swashbuckling, going on this adventure, invading tombs and sweeping women off their feet. But what makes him great is that a lot of times characters in his role are usually played as this really suave guy who's dumb, but they made him studious. He's a person that's an archaeologist, and he loves it, and he's really smart, and I really like that little touch there, and it makes him stand out, and I see why he's such an iconic character, because he has that balance of being the ladies' man, tough, a fighter, but also very smart at the same time. So many different people can relate to him at all levels. So I really enjoyed Harrison Ford and his performance in this film. He made it a lot of fun. His facial expressions were hilarious, and yeah, he looked great doing the action sequences and everything like that. So he was the main reason I enjoyed this film. The music by John Williams is iconic. John Williams has done so many scores for so many iconic films. I was like looking down the list, and it was just like Jurassic Park, Jaws, Star Wars, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And he did this, and it's great. You can kind of hear some similarities to other movies he's done before, and you can see that he kind of has a signature style that he carries over. And I've really got a real Star Wars feel to some of the synths and things that was done in this film. During the action sequences, it was really exciting. During the tomb raiding set parts, it was really wondrous and exciting as well. And then had this romantic feel to it when he was interacting with Marion and some of his friends. I really enjoyed it. It really uplifted this movie, and it was already really great looking on a technical level, but the music really elevates all the moments. And the action set pieces in this film are exciting. Iconic boulder run, and how all the practical effects that are used there make the movie feel really lived in and raw, and I really enjoy that. Especially, I watch a lot of modern movies, and a lot of it is the volume and VFX and not a lot of practical use. Just seeing these guys with the sweat and grime and looking like they're going through it really draws you in and makes you keep you engaged in what they're doing with the action. So the boulder run was iconic and thrilling. And then when he was chasing after Marion and she was in those little bundles, I don't even know what they're called, but they had the Nazis was carrying her around, and he was chasing after her. That was really fun. But the best action sequence was definitely when he was trying to get the Ark away from the Nazis on their caravan. That action sequence was like something you would see in a modern Mission Impossible film, and it was really, really exciting and thrilling. And I obviously I knew he was going to succeed, but I just wanted to see how he would get through it because of how he just had his whip. It was just really fun to me. He just had a whip, his fists, and his brains, and he got through it. He's definitely the every man's man. And the ending, very unexpected. I'm glad that this never got spoiled for me because, this movie's been out for decades, since the 80s, before I was even born. And I've heard so much about Indiana Jones, but I never heard about the ending. And it was really interesting and hilarious. Just these Nazis, going so hard, going through all these things to retrieve the Ark, and then they finally get it through nefarious ways, and they get totally obliterated. Which I thought was really hilarious. And, anytime a Nazi gets destroyed on camera, that's always a good point for me. So I really enjoyed the ending a lot. I liked how Indiana Jones went through all this stuff, and he was trying to retrieve this Ark, and he went through this journey of not believing in the religious and the supernatural aspects of it until he saw it, and his concern over the American or government getting their hands on it was really interesting at the end. Is hopefully you can see something in a follow-up. Obviously, I'm going to see the follow-up, but let's see if that carries over in the next film. But I really, really enjoyed the ending. I thought that third act was executed really well, from the chase sequence going on to the boat, and then everything that happened after that as well. Now let's get into the bad. So when I was first watching this movie, after the first couple of minutes, maybe first 30 minutes, I felt really confused. I thought I clicked on the wrong title because, Paramount Plus and Disney Plus has all of them, and they're not numbered. So I was like, did I click on the wrong film? Because I felt like I was thrown into this world that was already built, and all these characters had connections in past and knew each other, and nothing felt fresh. It felt like I jumped into a sequel for a movie and I missed everything that happened in between. So it had me a little bit bewildered at first and kind of lost and not really connecting to the story or the characters that much. I was enjoying Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, but his connections to like Marion, I didn't really understand because they had this path and something happened, but I didn't have the context. I didn't see it. And then, him and I think it was Shelley or Sully. I'm probably saying his name incorrectly. I apologize. But that character was very charismatic and they had this relationship, but I don't know where it came from. So it just felt like I was thrown into a second film or maybe even a third film where they went on adventures already and I didn't get to see them. So it was hard for that first half of the film for me to really connect to what was going on. So I felt kind of disengaged from the story and some of the characters throughout the film and a little bored because I was like, I don't really understand these conversations because they didn't, it didn't feel like it was built. It felt like I was already supposed to know these connections already. So that threw me off just a bit and it was a little weird. Afterwards, I found out the second film is supposed to be a prequel, apparently. So maybe that will fill it in and make the moments of this on a rewatch feel better. But just on a first time watch, it really threw me off. And I really liked a lot of the characters. I thought most of them were charismatic, except Marion. Holy crap. She annoyed the holy hell out of me. And she was just screaming throughout the film. It was just no balance in her character. It was just screaming and mad. And you know what? A lot of it was warranted. She was put into positions that wasn't great, but they could have balanced it just a bit with some fun or something else. It was no quiet moments for her. Every time she was on screen, she was either screaming at the top of her lungs, shouting at somebody, or trying to, I don't know, just escape, but also making a lot of noise. It was just a lot of noise and it just annoyed the hell out of me. And she didn't have any endearing features to that character to me at all. And she just brought down the film for me, honestly, because she was such a central part because the whole thing was, Indy going to retrieve her. He kind of just forgot about the arc. He just wanted to save her. And it made sense because they had that connection. He had a connection with her father. So I understood all of that. But just I guess, I don't know if it's just the performance or maybe the way it was written, because the actress was fine. She did a great job acting. It wasn't bad acting. I think it's just what they wrote for her was just really annoying for me. Now let's get into my verdict. So I would say I was a bit disappointed in the film because, you hear about Indiana Jones, over this time, and I thought it was going to be one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I don't think it is, unfortunately, watching it as a first time in 2023. But I did enjoy the movie overall for what it was. It was swashbuckling fun with a very, very charismatic lead character by a legendary actor who I'd never really seen at a younger age, and he did a great job. I really like Harrison Ford in this film, and I really like the action set pieces in this. The other stuff in the film, like the story and the plot and like the Nazis and stuff like that, some of that stuff was cool and interesting, but overall I wasn't super engaged with it. Like I said before, I'm going to give Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark a C+. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark? Is this your favorite action adventure film all time? Do you think it's just really good like me? Or do you think it's not as all as cracked it to be and not as hype as everyone makes it out? Drop all those comments down below. Let me know what you think about the contents of my review. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to be notified of my reviews, reactions, live discussions, and join for Throwback Thursdays. You get to vote on the channel for what old school movies that I've never seen, and there's a lot of them for me to watch for the first time and review. So just join the fun. You have to subscribe, and you can watch more of my content right now.